Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. And welcome to Saturday morning. Hope you've had a really good week. I hope you've been able to nail your goals this week. But of course, whether you did or didn't, because sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. Next week, or maybe even today, we have the chance to try again. Our teacher for this week is Carl Jung, and I have a couple of thoughts from Carl Jung to share with you just before we slip into today's meditation. Carl Jung says, "We don't so much solve our problems as we outgrow them. We add capacities and experiences that eventually make us bigger than the problems." Because the truth is, problems don't go away. Although some specific problems may become solved and may go away, in general, problems are just never going away. We're always going to be dealing with the next problem and the next problem. Somebody, a very good morning. Anthony, good morning. Awesome seeing you here. Leshna, hello, good morning to you. Problems are always going to exist in our lives. The ability to allow the experience to be felt without the overwhelming need to run from it or change it or control it. This is when we become bigger than the problem. Estelle, a very good morning. Happy Saturday to you. And Linda, such a good morning to you too. Carl Jung says, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls. They'll practice Indian yoga and all of its exercises, observe the strict regimen of diet, or learn the literature of the whole world, all because they cannot get on with themselves and have not the slightest faith that anything useful could ever come out of their own souls." Somewhere right at the bottom of one's own being, one generally actually does know where one should go and what one should do. But there are times when the clown we call I behaves in such a distracting fashion that the inner voice cannot make its presence felt. A man likes to believe that he is the master of his soul, but as long as he is unable to control his moods and emotions, or to be conscious of the myriad secret ways in which unconscious factors insinuate themselves into his arrangements and decisions, then he is certainly not his own master. I always kind of feel there's a very simple example to test ourselves. If I get into my car and first thing in the morning I drive to work, on the way to getting to work, I'll come under the influence of a number of things. One of the things will be the other drivers on the road, the messages and billboards, and maybe the news on the radio. By the time I get to my destination, I should check myself. What is my emotional state like? Has my emotional state become hijacked by these other drivers on the road, or a message on a billboard, or the news on the radio? Because if my emotional state was hijacked by these things, then certainly, just as Carl Jung suggests, I am not in control of myself. Subconsciously, the inner things and the outer things are pulling the strings, and I am just reactive and reacting to the world inside and around me. Whether it's an experience from our environment or an experience from within ourselves, when we are able to be with it, allow it to be felt without reacting to it, then we find ourselves inside that window of opportunity in which our true wisdom becomes available to us. Then I can make a decision. Then I have choice to accept what I cannot change, or take action on what is mine to change. But first, We need to be able to allow the experience to be felt. Today's meditation is an exercise in sitting with the experience and finding that we are able to be okay with whatever the experience is. Maggie, a very good morning to you. Happy Saturday. If you're ready, today is called Come to Your Senses, a sensory journey. You can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. A deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly full of air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. Our journey today is a journey of the senses of this body, and we'll start by checking in with this body right now. With your next exhale, bring your attention to your forehead, the space between your eyes. Do you often find yourself carrying a frown there? And for the moment, are you able to completely soften the space between your eyes? With your next exhale, bring your attention to the space in and around your mouth. Are your teeth clenched? Is your tongue pushed hard against the roof of your mouth? Do you sometimes find your jaw muscles clenched, grinding your teeth? And for the moment, is everything in and around your mouth soft and relaxed? With your next exhale, bring your attention to your neck and shoulders. Do you sometimes find your shoulders pulled up high, almost level with your ears? And do you then remind yourself to soften? For this moment, soften. With your next exhale, bring your attention to your stomach area, your abdominal muscles. This is the place where tension can remain hidden the easiest. For the moment, are your abs soft and relaxed? Then check in with your butt cheeks. Are they clenched? Or have you completely softened there? And then lastly, your arms and legs. Particularly bring your attention to your hands. And notice those moments when you do have them balled tightly into fists. Sometimes our nails could even make an impression on the palms of our hands and we don't even realize it. But for this moment, are your hands lying half open in your lap? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, continuing to help this body to stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. And as you release, drop your head all the way forward. Roll out your neck muscles, forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. Lean your upper body over to the right. Feel yourself stretching into your back muscles. Gently leaning into the edges. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is a really good place to stop. Although if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, feel into your body and feel how softness slowly settles on every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, really feel yourself drop into this body. Perhaps even wrap your arms around this body and say, "Hello, body. It is lovely having you." Take your next big breath. Our journey of the senses starts at the top and works its way down through our bodies. The first stop is your eyes. For this exercise, of course, we're keeping our eyes closed, but using our mind to see what our eyes would have seen if we were to open them. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, what would be the most obvious thing that you would see if you were to open your eyes? And as you take a deep breath, as you dive deep inside, take that time to study this obvious thing. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and discover all of its texture. Take your next big breath. And then we change gears. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, find the least obvious thing that you would be able to see if you were to open your eyes. While you take a deep breath and dive in, use that time to study this less obvious object. See it from all of its angles, find all of its color, and discover all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Notice your ability to have the experience and just be okay letting your eyes give you this experience, not having the need to react to the experience. We'll take a step downwards to our ears and what we can hear. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to the most obvious sound that you can hear and listen deep into it. See if you can find the different layers of sound in there. Take your next big breath. And then change gears. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, find the least obvious sound. A tiny whisper somewhere. And lean in, see how much of it you can hear. Take your next big breath. Notice your ability to just be with the experience that your ears are giving you. There's no need to react to it right now. For the next 2 stops, change your breathing to whatever works for you, whatever helps you experience, smell, and taste. So with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, can you find any obvious smell for this moment? Take your next big breath. And then changing gears as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you. Is there any other smell that you can also find? Take your next big breath. Notice your ability to just be with the experience that your nose gives you. There is no need to react to this smell right now. We'll take another step down to what you can taste, and with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to whatever taste you're able to find right now. Anything at all. Take your next big breath. And then, can you become aware of any other taste at all? Take a moment to see if you find anything else. Take your next big breath. Notice your ability to just be with the experience that your taste buds give you. There's no need to react to this experience right now. We have one more stop to do, and this is the surface of your skin. Scan your skin from top to bottom and find where is the most obvious sensation. And as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, pay attention to just how much you're able to experience from this obvious sensation. Could you name the different pressures and different sensations there? Take your next big breath. And then changing gears one more time, find a spot on the surface of your skin with the slightest sensation, something you can barely feel. And lean into that and see how much of it you can experience right now. Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together to slip out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you again a little piece from Carl Jung. He says, "A man likes to believe that he is the master of his soul. But as long as he is unable to control his moods and emotions or to be conscious of the myriad secret ways in which unconscious factors insinuate themselves into his arrangements and decisions, then he is certainly not his own master. However, somewhere, right at the bottom of one's own being, one generally does know where one should go and what one should do. We don't so much solve our problems as outgrow them. We add capacities and experiences that eventually make us bigger than the problems. But to get to that place, the place where we've grown bigger than the problems, or the place in the deepest part of our being that actually really knows what to do, we have to first become less reactive. Because it's when we are reactive, we are acting without realizing it's really our old patterns, our old programming, pulling the trigger. While we are reactive, we're not being in control of ourselves. An old pattern is in control. It's only when we can find ourselves in any experience knowing that I don't have to react right now. I can take a moment. I can breathe first. That's when we find we have access to actual wisdom. And very often, just like that first thought from Carl Jung said, we don't necessarily always fix problems. We outgrow them. We become bigger than the problem. Very often we find that actually there's nothing for me to respond to here. I'll just step away and let nature run its course. Nothing for me to try and control. But also in this space of first stopping and breathing and waiting. And sometimes we get access to that part of our soul that knows what to do. Sometimes there is an action to take. But when you act, do you want that to be from a subconscious program? Or do you want every action to be from wisdom? Deep in your being, you know. We can get better at acting from that part of ourselves. not the reactive, old pattern. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you to this body for all of its sensory experiences. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for this body being a vessel of learning, helping me learn that I can sit with any experience. I don't have the need to instantly be reactive to any experience. Take a deep breath in. And thank you for learning that the same is true for my inner experiences too. Whatever arises from within, I am able to sit with that, be with that experience, and learn that I don't necessarily have to be reactive to that either. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the deeper wisdom that I get access to when I sit and breathe. When I realize I'm about to be reactive and decide not to be. Give it time. And sometimes perhaps even sleep on it. Sometimes the decision can wait until tomorrow. Thank you for the wisdom of this body. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Have you been struggling with reactivity, being reactive, or have you been feeling yourself getting better at that? Do you notice yourself becoming possibly reactive and then take a moment, realize I can be with this. I don't have to be reactive to this. Thank you, Estelle. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Thank you, Pepe and Maggie and Linda and Sunmary and Anthony and Leshna and whoever else might be in the background with us. And yeah, I see your answer, Linda. Absolutely. I love that. We do get better. I'll remind you of this one more time. Carl Jung's words. We don't so much solve our problems as we outgrow them. We get better at this. We add capacities and experiences that eventually make us bigger than the problems. Good luck at the market today, somebody. Have an awesome day. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.